Before we get started, I want you to stop for a second. Put down whatever you're doing. Mute your notifications. Set your phone face down if you can, and just take a deep breath. This time is entirely for you. The topic we are diving into today requires your full presence and radical honesty. This is not about judgment or shame. We are not here to label anyone. According to the American Psychological Association, APA, addiction is a complex condition. It is a brain disease that manifests as compulsive behavior despite harmful consequences. It is not a moral failing, and it is not a choice. We are talking about a mechanism that affects almost everyone in the 21st century. Our brains were perfected over millions of years of evolution to ensure survival, but now they are being caught in the highly engineered traps of the modern world. Addiction is not a lack of willpower. It is a process that silently steals your health, your relationships, and your time. Welcome to Take Care of Yourself. Today we are learning how to take the wheel back. You have probably heard someone say that people just do not have enough willpower. This is the most damaging myth surrounding dependency. Modern science tells a different story. As the National Institute on Drug Abuse, NIDA, highlights, addiction is a chronic, relapsing disorder that effectively hijacks the brain's reward system. Our brains operate on a biological currency called dopamine. It is a neurotransmitter responsible for motivation and reinforcement. It tells you to do something again because it is good for survival. In a natural state, dopamine comes from healthy sources like a good meal or a deep conversation. But modern digital behaviors are like dopamine bombs. When you flood your brain with these levels of stimulation, the brain enters a state of panic to protect itself. Research documented by the National Center for Biotechnology Information, NCBI, shows that the brain begins to downregulate its dopamine receptors. This creates a tragic shift in your baseline for happiness. Normal life starts to feel gray because nothing can compete with the intensity of the hit. At this point, control shifts from your prefrontal cortex to the limbic system. You stop deciding and you start reacting to a chemical hunger. In today's world, addiction rarely looks like the stereotypes from old movies. It does not always involve dark alleys. We carry the potential for addiction in our pockets. The World Health Organization, WHO, now formally recognizes addictive behaviors like compulsive gambling and gaming as disorders that are just as destructive as chemical substances. Modern traps are stealthy because they are socially acceptable. Doomscrolling through short-form videos late at night is not relaxing. It is digital anesthesia used to numb real emotions. Online shopping provides a massive surge of euphoria, followed by a crash and a sense of emptiness. Even workaholism is a trap that society often praises until you realize you have no health left. These tools are designed by behavioral engineers to exploit the exact brain vulnerabilities mentioned by NCBI researchers. You have to ask yourself, are you using the tool or is the tool using you? If you feel anxiety when you cannot check your phone, your reward system has been compromised. The consequences are deeper than wasted time. Addiction creates a cycle of isolation and emotional numbing. Very Well Mind describes one of the most painful side effects as anhedonia. This is a condition where the world becomes emotionally flat. You lose interest in your passions because nothing breaks through the noise of the addiction. You experience brain fog that robs you of clarity. You cannot finish a book or have a meaningful conversation because your subconscious is too busy scanning for the next hit. The most destructive part is what happens to your identity. You start lying to your partner, your parents, or your boss. But the most dangerous lies are the ones you tell yourself. Every broken promise to start tomorrow erodes your self-trust. you begin to see yourself as someone who lacks integrity. This is the vicious cycle you use to escape the shame caused by the use itself. Addiction is fundamentally a disease of isolation. Even in a room full of people, you are absent. Your loved ones feel the glass wall in your eyes. Trust evaporates drop by drop. Every time you choose the screen or the app over human connection, it leaves a scar. Recovery is not just about stopping a behavior. It is about returning to authenticity. It is about learning how to sit with silence and how to build intimacy without a digital buffer. We also need to be honest about the financial reality. Addiction is expensive. Calculate the hours you have lost this year and multiply that by your hourly wage. Think about the projects you did not start because your mind was too busy escaping. Money is energy, and addiction is a black hole. Reclaiming your finances is about reclaiming your freedom to choose your destiny. It is not your fault that you found yourself here. We live in an environment designed to keep us hooked. From social media algorithms to processed foods, our biology is being tested in ways it was never prepared for. Understanding this allows you to drop the weight of shame. Shame is the fuel for addiction. When you feel like a bad person, you want to escape that feeling even more. Stop beating yourself up and start observing your patterns like a scientist. Your battle begins with radical honesty. As the APA suggests, the first step is acknowledgement. Do not say you need to cut back. Say out loud, "I have a problem, and it is destroying my potential." That sentence gives you power because truth is the only foundation for change. To build a new system, you need environmental architecture. First, identify your triggers. Is it stress after a meeting or boredom on a Sunday? Once you know what pushes you, you can create a plan. Second, change your environment. If you want to stop scrolling, your phone must stay in a different room 2 hours before bed. Make the bad decision physically difficult to execute. Third, use the 15-minute rule, also known as urge surfing. When the craving hits, do not fight it with brute force. Tell yourself you will give in, but only in exactly 15 minutes. During that time, do something simple, like washing the dishes or taking a walk. A craving is like a wave. It builds to a peak and then naturally subsides. Finally, you must give your brain something in return. Nature hates a vacuum. Build healthy sources of dopamine, like exercise, learning a skill, or volunteering. These things require effort before the reward, which retrains your brain to be patient. You will likely stumble. It might happen next week or a year from now. When it does, remember that a relapse is not the end of the road. NIDA emphasizes that relapse is a common part of the journey and indicates that the system needs to be adjusted. It is feedback, not a return to zero. If you get a flat tire, you do not slash the other 3 tires in a rage. You change the tire and keep driving. Be a kind parent to yourself. Self-compassion is the most powerful medicine. Imagine your life a year from now if you make this choice today. Imagine a morning where you wake up with a clear mind and no guilt. Real freedom is the ability to do what is actually good for you, even when it is hard. If this feels too heavy, please reach out. Professional help and support groups are not signs of weakness. They are the highest forms of courage. Thank you for staying with me. Take care of yourself. Start with one small step today.